Hey dude, it's me, Grandpa Dude, and Jesper. Jesper's our cute little black kitten that we got on Christmas Eve. Here's a pic of your mom and Jesper on that day. Jesper's a bit of a spaz, likes to run around and give his brothers, Charlie and Blue, all kinds of trouble. He'll play fetch and bring a little hair clip back to you and drop it so you can throw it and chase it again. He's always in places he's not supposed to be. Seems to like to get into trouble. But he's funny. He makes us happy. Isn't that right? Jesper. Ow, don't bite. Okay. See? Anyway, I'd like to read some more to you from Grandpa's story and answer a few of these questions about Grandpa's childhood years. Grandpa, as a child, who were you told you resembled, if anyone? I guess I looked like my mom. She wore glasses and had similar eyes. Yeah, she was a pretty lady, and I'm a pretty man. Home address. We mostly lived on Jones Street, like I said, 93 Jones. What do you remember about your home? I remember it was really old. I think it was made around the time of the Civil War, and my dad got it for like $11,000, Papa, and he spent maybe $500,000 over the next 30 years making it into a $40,000 house. But it was sold after he passed, and there's a family there now that I don't know who they are. What do you remember about your room? Well, I remember that it was small. Most of them were only about 8 foot by 8 foot, kind of tiny. And I had to move around a lot because of the renovations, and there was times where I had to share a large room with my sisters, or a time where I moved upstairs into the attic. It was all different. Oh, wow. What language or languages were spoken in your home? I think it was mostly profanity, but broken English, slang, rage. Did you have a best friend? Yes, my friend's name was Juice. He was a taller guy. Paul Rozeski. He was a really nice guy. We were friends for many years. Who were some of your other close friends? Well, there was Norm and Cindy. We had a large group of friends that hung out by the Dalkey Center, where we would sometimes drink Jenny Pounders and get into trouble with our leather jackets and heavy metal music. Favorite hobbies or activities as a child? I like to draw. I like to read comic books. I'd listen to music when I got a radio, but I played with football cards. I would imagine that they were players on teams, and imagine how you can make plays and just different players that I liked back then, playing against and with one another, just using my imagination. Did you prefer playing inside or outside? I like to be outside. I was always dirty. I was climbing a lot. And, we played hide and seek with our friends, and I would hide in some of the best hiding spots, but they were always pretty dusty or dirty. Some of the favorite games, we played a game called Scattergories by the Dulski Center, where we would have to name certain things in the category beginning with a certain letter, and then you chase the other person. It was our way of just kind of passing the time. Or sometimes we played chase or like hide and seek around entire blocks. It was a lot of fun back then, just being outside and just taking advantage of just the wide open spaces, and not having to be home until the streetlights came on. Today's story is going to be about your dad. Here's his first photo scrapbook album. One of his first pictures. He was kind of small, had a little jaundice. Think he looks like you? I don't know. Here's his room. Had a baby Snoopy with lots of different things that we made for him. Mural. Here's him with his brother, your uncle. They got along very well. Your Uncle Josh is very patient, which is essential for someone like your dad. Here's a photo shoot. Still having some problems with the neck, but he got there. Oh. Here's me, long time ago. Bear. This is in Arkansas. He was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. Only stayed for 2 years. Once he started to gain some weight, he got pretty cute. Around this time, Grandpa Dude had to go away to Korea, so I didn't get to see him for 7 months. Your dad's Aunt Wendy and Aunt Jamie and cousin Savannah came to visit. And your dad got to spend time in Graceland when they went to Memphis. Here's a 4th of July party. Here's your dad and my dad when they went to visit Buffalo during the autumn. Christmas time, I came home from Korea for a 1 month mid tour, and we stayed in a condo in Navarre. It was nice to see everyone. Here's a bunch of friends that came to visit. Frank, Bruce, Alec, Parker. Here's your dad's birthday. He shares one with Karen. We had a Blue's Clues themed party. That was a TV show that your dad liked. Here's your dad and your uncle and me, just being ourselves. Here's a couple of hippies wearing their tie-dyed outfits. Here's your dad playing peekaboo. I see you. Some more random shots. Hanging out. Napping. Having tea with Parker. Hanging out with Corky. Here's a trip to Big Kahuna's. A fancy arrangement of the photos of your dad in his super long shorts. Here's us hanging out on a nice day. Keep it cool. Look at the looks on his face. Just all attitude. Here's a Thomas the Tank Engine table made by your grandpa. That was another show that they watched all the time, and they like to play with their trains and make the tracks. Halloween. They dressed up as Buzz and Woody from the movie Toy Story. Your grandpa made the costume. Here's a school picture. Looks like a future guidance counselor turning a chair around so he can keep it real. Matthew by the water, hanging out. Your great-grandfather and your great-uncle, Dave, came to visit. They're both gone now. They were good friends and relatives. They were fun together, helping each other out. Your grandmother loved them both. You guys, or your dad and your uncle, enjoyed themselves just hanging out while they could stay. I was still away. Your friend Calvin and Hobbs and your dad. This was a visit to Kentucky, visiting your great uncles, Eric and Charlie. Here's a trip your dad and your uncle took to the beach. We went to the beach a lot. Cool down and to have fun. And take pictures to put into a book. Here's the 4th of July. Here's a trip to Niagara Falls. Have to take you there someday. Maybe to the mist. Get all wet. Here's a trip to Buffalo. All kinds of relatives. All kinds of fun. These are great uncles, aunts, cousins. This is a long time ago. Some have moved away, different places, and have kids of their own. A great uncle, Nick, joined the Air Force. Just like me, just like your dad, just like your Uncle Tim. Here's your great-grandfather, Papa, holding your dad. Visit to the park. This page opens up into 3. Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for? Here's Christmas. Another huge haul for your dad. This was the year he got a motorcycle. Another awesome birthday party. Here's your dad and me cutting a Spider-Man cake. He's 3 years old. Chuck E. Cheese. I wonder if you'll ever see one of those. Uh-oh. Your dad playing soccer. Those kids weren't very good. I was a coach. They would just all run around and chase the ball. But your dad actually did get a goal. Here's a couple of cowpokes. Rootin', tootin', hanging out. This is just up the road, actually. It looks like it's out in the west, but it's just on Martin Luther King. Another trip to the beach for a photo shoot with your Uncle Josh. There's the 2 again, big kahunas. Here we go. That's the same picture. Just upside down. They looked a little bit alike. A lot of people call them twins, even though they're 22 months apart. Another Halloween where Grandpa Dude make the costumes. Look at that alien costume on Uncle Josh. dad was the Predator. It was a cool costume too. After we saw the movie, they chose the costume themselves. Another trip to Buffalo. And then a bunch of little photos of them at the beach. This is in Navarre, near Juana's. That's the same day, and that's your grandma's nephew. It's, well, our nephew and your cousin, Nick, who also joined the airport. And here's a drawing and graphic that I made of your dad and Uncle Josh years ago with Microsoft Paint. I guess today you can make so much better with AI in just a couple minutes, but it was nice to take all the time and to put some care into something that I can make with just my hands. Well, that should be it for today. Hope to talk to you again soon. Take care, buddy.